Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So, is the crypto winter over? I don't know, we had a pretty bad year in 2018. And as you know, yesterday Brad Garlinghouse did an AMA with another Ripple employee, Monica Long. Just wanted to touch on a few of the points they mentioned in the AMA. Not everything, obviously, but some of the points that I found somewhat interesting. One of the things I thought that was very poignant, and the reason I have a Jon Snow here in summer outfit, declaring that summer is coming, is because we have been in a crypto winter for a whole year pretty much. Since last January, we have been in a decline. A lot of us got into cryptocurrencies. A lot of us were getting very, very excited, but the market just kept going down and down and down. But Brad seems to think, at least in my opinion, that 2019 will bring some amazing things. He first went on to talk about ICOs and how a lot of those scammers were getting basically shut down. The US government was cracking down on ICOs, which is good for the crypto space overall, just because we don't need that kind of fraud, blatant fraud, in the space. It really just brings everybody down, especially for a company like Ripple that is on the up and up, doing the right thing, working within the ecosystem to basically get it up and rolling and wanting to make money with their products by using XRP. And he does go on to say that the regulatory environment is still pretty strong in the United States. They're still engaging with governments. Governments are willing to, regulate cryptocurrencies. They're looking at it seriously. We're huge leaps and bounds ahead of where we were before 2018, where governments wouldn't even touch cryptocurrency with a 10-foot pole. Everybody was calling it a scam. Now at least they're taking it seriously, moving into 2019. He says that although there is lots of regulation worldwide, in countries like Japan, he highlighted particularly, the United States is taking its time to look at cryptocurrencies and to make sure they regulate everything properly. One thing I found interesting when Monica Long asked Brad Garlinghouse about his predictions, one of the things he didn't predict correct was the fact that institutions were going to get into the market more heavily in 2018. And a lot of that is tied to the regulation part. He thought he'd see a lot more institutional investors get into the market in 2018. But of course, that's all tied with regulation. They're not going to get into the market until this kind of thing is regulated. Another thing I just wanted to bring up before I keep going is Bitcoin futures manipulation, how it works and how to reduce it. Part of this whole crypto winter and how 2018 played out, I think has a lot to do with this here. I'm not going to go through the article, but it talks about Bitcoin futures manipulation, how it works and how to reduce it. Another article I found here, The Big Short, former IMF economist finally closes his year-old Bitcoin short. This guy shorted Bitcoin a year ago. The absolute proper perfect time to short Bitcoin. And I'll tell you something, if I was able to short Bitcoin, I would have done it myself, because the spec market just saw increased rises, and we know it's not sustainable. So best thing to do to short. Funny, he's the former International Monetary Fund economist. Faro senior risk trader Mark Dow made an unpopular bet not long after Bitcoin would not sustain its growth and the price would slip from there. So he entered it a year ago today, which was today, 19th. So December 19th, 2017, when Bitcoin was at 19,500. He shorted it, closed his position a year later, and the rest is history. And part of this is because, the regulations weren't there, they weren't in place. So price manipulation is a lot more evident. Also, the fact that institutional investors were not getting into Bitcoin at this time, the spec market is very, very predictable when you have a lot of unsophisticated traders trading something where greed is their prime motivation. Guys, I always link all these articles in the description if you want to read more. Here too, Ripple says banks are not using XRP-Powered xRapid or cryptocurrency due to regulatory uncertainty. So another thing that Brad Garlinghouse was talking about was that more banks are coming on board, but he's seeing a lot of traction overseas where regulation is more prevalent. Nevertheless, he does say that Ripple has grown as a company. It was a historic year for Ripple in 2018. More production contracts were signed than any other year. They've got their 3 products now in market, XCurrent, XVIA, and xRapid. They're working with 4 major liquidity providers, Bittrex, Bitso, and Coins.ph. He also kind of was, forgot the last one, and Monica Long was like, Bitstamp? And he's like, oh yeah, Bitstamp. We like those guys. Did we know about the Bitstamp liquidity partnership? I don't know. Was that a slip? Maybe we knew about it. I don't know. He was talking about how new products were being built on Ripple tech, which he thought was very interesting. You know, supporting the ecosystem, supporting XRP, the Spring Initiative in particular, creating new products to build a healthy ecosystem to use XRP because it's faster and cheaper. As the digital asset investor says, the best digital asset ever created. And so now companies are actually being seen lowering their fees because of the products. Where at one time a transaction fee used to be $20, now a company is charging like $2 to do the same transaction because of XRP, because of Ripple. This is a good sign. This is going to set the standard for other companies to follow in the future. And Ripple also continues to be transparent with regulatory bodies cooperating, making sure they can do everything they need to do in order to get their projects off the ground, in order to make XRP the standard for transferring wealth around the globe. So this was a bit of a roundup video. Brad Garlinghouse, last AMA of the year. I want to hear what you guys think in the comments. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.